Alright, boys and girls, welcome back to the bench. This is Gemini Scale Model Works, and if you remember in the last video, I did leave with a mistake that I made. It was a happy mistake, but a sad mistake nonetheless. So what I did was, while I was off camera, I did go ahead and strip the hood again. And I don't want to keep stripping it. It might lose its integrity and collapse on me, but I'm pretty amazed that the liquid masking that I put in it is still there, even through the alcohol bath. I'm pretty impressed with that. So, hopefully it'll come off when I'm ready. Anyhow, sometime during this video, this is going to have color on it again. But, we're going to start off with taking care of the fenders, because it would be easier to do the fenders now than it would be if they were on the vehicle. Plus, I want to show you that I told you in the last video that the stacks were going to get different colors, and they did. They got the same blue as the fenders and whatever else. The rear part of the truck has this color in it. This is mica blue. It's a Tamiya color out of a spray can. So, excuse me. What we're going to do today is we're going to compound, polish, and wax these fenders. It's easier to do it now than it would be to do it on the truck. I know I just said that, but products we're going to use are Meguiar's Ultimate Compound. Now I feel that compound is the ultimate grit as far as sanding goes, so that's first step. And the second step we're going to do is we're going to put polish on there. And again, this is a Meguiar's product. Now it says gloss enhancer. Alright, we'll see about that. And then finally, we're going to put on some wax. And this is another Meguiar's Deep Crystal Carnauba wax. Anyhow, we're going to start with this. And I'm going to get a couple of these little cups right here. And I'm going to put the products in the cups and we'll start. Stay tuned, we'll be right back. Okay guys and gals, we're going to start doing this. Now this already has a pretty nice gloss on it, and all of this is supposed to enhance it. So, I'm going to start with the compound. I put them in these little cups, and you can see I have it marked with a C. I don't know if you can see it or not. Yeah, you can. It's just this light. You got a C. And then we got a P, and we got a W. I'm going to apply all of these with my finger. Yes, sir, with my finger. I think it was BG Models that I saw this method. Anyhow, finger on there, and we're just going to rub it in. All this stuff, by the way, is stuff that you can use on your one-to-one vehicle. So we'll let that, and then we'll do it again on this one. Be sure to keep off the gluing surface. I want to keep that as clean as possible, and I'll probably give it a sand just before I put it on the vehicle. Alright, this doesn't need to. It doesn't take a long time to set up what we got to do. So the other one is already ready to come off. I use 2 microfibers. I have to use one to take it off and then one to polish it. So we'll use the orange one to take it off, and I'll just wrap it around my finger. And we'll just proceed to take it off. Just making sure I get it all. I'm not going to do the underneath part. Okay, that's one. It did bring the gloss out a bit more. You can see the light's a lot more clear. All right, and then number 2. Now don't forget, I already did this on the cab. I showed you that in the last video. I also did some more work on the cab that I'll show you guys in this video. right after we get these guys done. I could never do this while it was on the vehicle, the way I'm rubbing this. Okay, so there is the compound. Next will be the polish. Again, I'm going to use my finger. So you get the outside. Hardly any place to hold this. Alright. Okay, that's the polish part. Give that a second to kind of haze up a little bit, and then we'll go to the final step, which is the wax. Oops, sorry about that. Now this Cornuba wax is very, very liquidy. I don't know if you guys can see how. Very liquidy. I could almost pour it out. So, okay. These guys are ready. I like this mica blue. It's a really nice color. I might do one of my vehicles, the entire vehicle in this color. Alright. There's one. You can see the color that is taken off, so it's really getting down to the right down to the paint. Okay, start to see the metal fake in the blue. Very nice, looking good. Looking really good. Alright, last step will be putting the wax on there. Now, I mentioned in my other video that these fenders will get decals, and I'm kind of going old school on the decals because the colors will work with the colors I'm using on the vehicle. So you'll see those when I do the reveal. Anyhow, let's take some of our wax. The same thing, we're going to use our finger. But you can see how liquidy this wax is. And we just, you can do the circle thing if you want. I'm just going to make sure all the paint gets some wax on it. And again. Alright, we'll let that set up for a few minutes and we'll go ahead and take it off and then polish. We'll use the polishing rag to see how glossy we can actually get this. Alright, so let's put this guy away. Alright guys, well, the procedure to take that off is going to be the same. So I'll bring you back when I had that all cleaned up and to show you the beautiful gloss that it's going to have. So stay tuned, we'll be right back. Okay guys, the next thing we're going to do on these fenders, we're going to buff it out and they will be ready to be mounted onto the hood when the hood gets finished. I'm going to use this guy. Now when you use something like this, you need to be really careful, because if you stay in one spot too long and you put too much pressure, you could burn the paint. So we're just going to give it a once over, and this is a new brush on here. So let's see. All right, here we go. And I'm just barely touching it. Alright, and then we'll just dust it off. Remember, I said I used the other one for polishing, and that's this rag. And I think, first of all, the paint is as smooth as a baby's bottom. And there you go. 2 polished fenders, ready to go on the vehicle. Alright, let me show you what I've made, the progress I've made so far on the cab. And we'll continue from there. Be right back. Okay, guys and gals, welcome back to the bench. Unfortunately, this is definitely not going to get done by the 10th, only because I ran out of paint. This is MCW Finishes, and the color is Plum Crazy Metallic. And I ordered some, but it will not be here for another week or so. So the good thing is, Jeff has informed me that I have until the end of the month to finish this, so that's a good thing. Anyhow, today's project, as you can see here, I got the headlights all painted up with chrome, and the stairs around the fuel tank, and fire extinguisher. Of course, the fire extinguisher is going to get more. It's going to get red and black on there, or at least red, and leave the trigger silver. Alright, mirrors are painted. I'm still not sure what I'm going to do with the mirrors yet, but today's object right now is to get this pipe mounted to the turbo. It does fit in there. I did show you guys that. So what I'm going to do is, I don't know if you guys are going to be able to see this, but right there in the center, there used to be an alignment pin. And on this side, used to be a hole. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to drill both of these out, and I am going to put a piece of rod, I don't know if this is the one I'm going to use, into here, so it lines up as close to center as possible, and then glue it in place. So with that being said, I'm going to go ahead and do that off camera, and I'll be back when it's done. Alright, boys and girls, I finally got that exhaust pipe in there. It's perfectly straight, well, almost perfectly straight this way, and it's got the same amount of distance here to the chassis. So I cannot believe that, if I can pick this up, this is going to be the only place that this is going to be secured. It blows me away that that's the only place that's going to hold this entire exhaust system up, because I still got to put this pipe on here and then the stacks. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to take these 2 little pieces of styrene you see right here, this one and this one, and I'm going to build, I want to call them legs on here. As you can see, I already grooved out where these are going to go, and these will sit in there, and then once they are glued and secured to here, I'll make sure that they're perfectly perpendicular. Then I will glue this to that and use these to clamp it in place until this dries, and then I'll glue these into place and paint them and so on and so forth. I hope that made a lot of sense to you guys. anyhow, you'll see the finished product here in a couple of minutes. So that being said, I'll be back in a little. Okay, boys and girls, we are back, and I'm going to show you what I was talking about in the last clip that I did. This is the exhaust system that's going to hold the stacks on here. And so what I did, I just added these two legs, so that will straddle the chassis. And once I get it in here and get that glued in place, then I will glue these ones on the side to the chassis, and that'll give me enough support to support the entire exhaust system, both at the front and the back. So I'm going to try using Tamiya Quickset. I did clean off the mating surfaces, so it should work. So let's see, let's give it a shot. I can never tell if there's actually glue coming out. I'm just going to hold that there for a second and see if it'll set up. I don't think so. I may have to use some CA cement for this part. Then again, maybe not. Alright, I'm going to hold it there just a little bit longer because it seems like it's going to work. Alright, I'm going to cut the clip right now and bring you back when this is all secured, and I'll show you how it's going to be holding everything up. So stay tuned, we'll be right back. Okay, boys and girls, we are back, and I'll show you what I have done to get this exhaust system secured. First of all, I used the black CA at the joint. The regular Tamiya didn't work. Then I secured my legs just like these legs on here. They're a little crooked, but at this point I really don't care anymore. I just want to get this model finished. And so with that being said, I'll show you how much I have accomplished on the hood, on the cab, and we'll see where we go from there. Anyhow, the cab has, at least on this side here, has the oil. I think this is an oil reservoir or oil something or other. The top is pretty much all done. I had problems with the horns like I showed you guys. I lost one of the marker lights, so I'll have to see if that turns up one day. And you know, the funny thing is I have two other kits of Peterbilt, one Peterbilt and one Kenworth, and none of them had those. So hopefully it'll turn up at some point. Anyhow, I have to redo the air filter on this side. I didn't like the way the paint came out, and that's about it for the cab. So this here, like I said, it's a little crooked, and these can only go on in one way. This one here, because the stacks are cut. Excuse me. So they face with the cut going backwards. So that will go on here like this, and it does have a D connection, positive blocking point right there. So it'll go on there like that. And once I get the cab on, it's got a securing point up on the top. So let me switch to the other camera and turn this around a little bit. And now let's go to this camera. And so this side here has got the D, and you can see the D on there. And so that'll go on here like this. Just like that. Of course, it's not going to stay right now. I don't want to glue it in place until I'm ready. And then this one has just got a regular hole on it, and it'll go on this side like that. So you got one like that, and then the other one here, and basically, if I can get it on there to stay, there you go. There's my stacks. See if I can turn this around real easy. Oops. I didn't think that was going to work. So anyhow, this video will be the last video on this build until the reveal. I have to wait about another 7 or 8 days before I get the paint to repaint the hood, like I showed you guys that I had to restrip the hood. Then I'll put everything together and give you a reveal on this modified Peterbilt heavy-duty tow truck, or wrecker. I would call it a tow truck. That's what it is to me. It tows things, so it's a tow truck. Anyhow, with all that being said, I hope you guys and gals enjoyed this video. And as always, your questions, comments, input, subs, shares, and likes are always welcome. For now, that's all, folks. Gemini Scale Model Works out for now. Bye.